Oh man, what's going on, family and friends? We back here in the kitchen. You know we about to get it cooking up in here. How was y'all weekend? I hope y'all had a good weekend. The holiday, because mine was really good. Tanika's. How was yours, Tanika?
It was great. Really,
Oh,
really
that's
great.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, we took some days off to rejuvenate. Get our thoughts together and get right back on track. That's what we do, man. We try to encourage and uplift people and try to give them a different perspective on thinking and how to grow as a human being, how to grow as a person, interview relationships, and we're trying to encourage people to have a healthy and a prosperous relationship, whether and if it's toxic, we're trying to help you grow to be a better person. If it's in a marriage, better marriage. If it's in a better relationship, better father, better mother. It's all. But this is what we trying to do. We trying to spread the word of encouragement, spread the word of love and peace, despite of all of your trials and tribulations. We're trying to keep you encouraged and let you know that you do have a place. It's a safe place. We do nothing negative here. We always want to encourage and uplift people, and that's what we're trying to do. So today's topic is trust. And when we think about that, you really got to sit there and ponder on some of the things that when you're dealing with trust, you really got to think about it. It's big. So so T, as we begin to indulge in this conversation, I want to ask you a question. Do you really trust the process?
Hmm. That's a good question. Yes, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
so
Yeah,
you don't know
I
what.
don't know. I don't know how the process will evolve and unfold. I don't know how it will be. So even though I trust the process, that's within me. That's within, how I believe within myself and me and God, that process. Now, outside of that, eh, yeah, eh, I don't
I don't
think
know. Okay. When you say you trust God's process, what do you mean by that?
for,
Can you tell us
for
what you
me,
mean by that?
like that, okay, like we could say that could be my faith and my belief in, what God has for me. And I trust that, you know what I mean? That trust and that belief that God will provide, and do everything that I believe God will do for me, that I trust completely, right? But outside, when it comes to the world, when it comes to other people, and I say other people because we deal with other people all the time, right? And so I don't know if I completely could say I trust it in the process. I have to learn how to trust that process because it's outside of me. It's not me, but I know within me, God resides and, speaking all the time. And I'm speaking to God and, we're connected. We're like this, and I trust that completely. But outside of that, I have trust issues because
Mm.
of, I think about last time we had our talk and somebody said in the chat, have you ever been hurt? And I was like, wow, I thought that was so interesting, right? Ask
Oh, you
that
still stay with that, huh?
That was that was why did I even ask that? Like, of course, but yeah. So, and I think about when I thought of that comment, I was happy that it came and the way it made me think on it because I started thinking about my hurt, and I was like, that's what makes me not trust is because past pains, past mistakes, past, a lot of past things that happen that we still. And I'm not going to say I haven't forgiven, but maybe I haven't really forgotten. You know what I mean? Because when you are able to forget it, when somebody does you wrong and all that, it kind of like it's a place to heal. That's my opinion. I know I'm going off topic, but
No, you can keep going. You can.
that's my point about the trust. You know what I mean? The trust for me is within me. I trust. Now I could doubt my abilities, of course. I'm going to always doubt my abilities, but I'll put, you know, God, the Spirit of God, in the place of what I say I cannot do, and trust that God will provide. So, but when it comes to other people, my will cannot supersede somebody else's will. Like I can't sit up here and pray for you to have something and it not be what your will really wants. So I couldn't trust that that would work. Whatever it is, you can put whatever the situation that you want. So trust for me is difficult. I've got trust issues when it comes to other people, in situations. I've been doing a lot of stuff on my own because of that, and it's not good. And that's why I think the whole family thing, me, only you and other people know I am really doing my best to get back into family, because it's not family hurt me. It wasn't that. It was more me looking at, I've been hurt by other people, so I'm gonna stay away, because for real, I don't want to react in the wrong way, or I don't want to do something that offends and hurts others because of my hurt. So trust is a big thing. It's a great topic. And honestly, if we're able to really take our own assessment of ourselves and look deeply within ourselves and not lie to ourselves about who we are and what we really don't trust, and why and all that, we can have healing. Healing can come. I mean, I believe that. But because we put so much trust, I mean, think about it. I think about this all the time. How I'll eat some food, right? From like a delivery. We can get all our food delivered nowadays, right? And I can have my food delivered and I'll start eating it up, right? I trust that person that was driving that car that did not touch my food, you know what I mean? Like I have full trust, right? But is that foolish of me? Like, where does your trust begin and end? There has to be something there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just can't trust everything, can we? That's a good question to ask. So,
Oh, okay. So you was going on. So I was going to ask you, do you trust God completely?
yes.
Okay. So when you said yes, and I was listening to you, and I was saying to myself, when you talk about deliveries, that is something that's out of your control. That's where God comes in, and you trust God to protect your food, cover it. So that's trusting in truly in God, because that's something that's out of your control. Yes, we have crazy and delusional people out here that do stupid stuff like that. So yes, because I do overeat sometimes, and yes, I really don't think about it that much, because you know what, at the end of the day, if it's something that's not meant for me to have, God will not. That's God's provision for me, because you know what, I can't see what that person does. So I believe that I trust in knowing, not only just trusting and knowing that God is going to protect me and she'll protect me. That same thing when you get in your car and you start on your way to go to work. You trusting that God will she'll protect you. I won't say trust, you believe in God, but she'll protect you and cover you. So that's the same thing about delivery. If your faith is that, I ain't gonna say if your faith, I'm just saying as an individual, your faith is strong, things like that you should not worry about. Some people do, but you shouldn't, because I mean, if you got to worry about it, you shouldn't even order the food.
I agree.
You
I
know.
agree.
So then, I want to ask you another question. If you trust people, right, and they break your trust, do you forgive them, or do it take some time for for you to forgive them, right? So it's two-part question. If you trust people, right, and they break your trust, do you forgive them? That's the first part. The second part is, do it take some time for you to forgive them? How long does
Mhm.
it take? Is it a process? And does it depend on the individual that has broken your trust?
And the hurt too. How bad
I
that
mean, hurt.
pain.
That's
Yeah.
all. That's all part of it.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Um, I do say in my heart that I forgive them. In my heart, I will say I forgive them, but the actions might not align with the words all the way, meaning that if I see you in a room, I might not speak because I'm not there to, say, "Oh, I forgive you," but I can speak to you and give you a hug. You know, I I can't say that. So actions of forgiveness sometimes don't align with what our heart says. If I say I'm forgiving you, I should be able to, really truly forgive and let it all go and let it be as if it never happened and didn't affect me, because that's real forgiveness. But I can't do that. My
Okay.
emotions and my feelings get into the way, and I don't react and behave in that manner. So it does take me a long time. I think it takes me a long time to, it all depends on what it is, okay? Because hurt, when been somebody, you lost trust in that person and they hurt you, and it's deep, it can, affect you differently. But most of the time, I'm really able to let it be and it not affect me. But if you did me real wrong, I mean dirty, grimy, ugh, I mean, ugh, that will take a long time. I just, but there are people in this world that have lack of knowledge and understanding, and so they do things that they do not understand why they did that. And I have learned that I have to accept the fact that we are all learning, and not everybody thinks the same, and we're not all on the same knowledge base. So I have to be patient with people, and I'm trying to do better with my patience. It's not that great, but it's getting better. I can see progress within myself, but I have still, let those go out of my life just because, you know, I can't trust you, or you did me grimy or semi grimy. It doesn't matter. It's just the fact that I can see how I have been, and I recognize that, it does take, if you getting my loyalty and you did me wrong and you cannot communicate to me about it, there's a problem. That right there lets me know. You don't even acknowledge it. So I have no business even dealing with you ever again, right? That's what I think of it
Right.
as.
Mhm.
So it all depends on the person, of course. So, but for me, on my normal way, I think I do, forgive easily, but it's not as
Yeah.
quick all the time, depending on the situation. What about you?
First I want to respond. Hold on. Just text me. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to respond to what you were saying. Um, it's like a here you got levels to an injury. All right, if you got a baby cut, it takes a shorter time for the healing, right? Opposed to surgery. If you have surgery, which is a major wound, I should say, that it takes time for healing, right? So when you look at, if you just get a little, hold on, hold on. Okay, I'm sorry about that. So yeah, so you have different, injuries that require uh, different healing processes. So it depends on the person that hurt you. It depends on when they hurt you, how they hurt you, physically or mentally. That it depends on how you heal and how the healing process. Because if you're in a relationship and you really devoted your time and you really love that person, it may take you a longer time for healing, especially if you're in a marriage. They always say in a marriage, when you get a divorce, look, it's like tearing a piece of you apart away, and it takes time. It depends on the individual if they really getting the healing or they really getting the downtime to understand and know the things that has occurred, and you need time for healing. And basically what I'm saying is you need time for healing, and in that process it depends on how deep you've been cut. I used injury for an example about forgiving and trust. um, So, for me, like, I like, don't be judging me, okay?
Okay.
You hear me?
Yep.
You hear what I said? Don't
Yeah.
be judging me.
Okay.
Look, for me, uh, I understand truly, when I forgive somebody, I forgive them. And I don't bring it up. I don't I remember, because just here's the thing. If you get burnt, are you gonna always remember that you got burnt? I'm talking about physically, like from a fire. If you got burnt, you're gonna always remember that, right? You'll never
Yeah.
forget it.
Hmm.
Same thing with being hurt. You'll never forget it, but you forgive that person. You never bring it up. You never talk about it. It's over. You know what I mean? You get over, but it depends on how long it takes you to get over it. You know what I'm saying? And then once you get over it, you forget about it, because think about this. And what keeps me in that mindset, what keeps me stable to think about like that, to think about that, is that I always go back and I say, God forgives me no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And oh my goodness, look, they distracted me. I'm gonna tell you what the comment said. But look, that's the key points for me to focus on really forgiving a person, because I know that no matter what I've done, no matter how bad the circumstance was, and I did something that God did not want me to do, He forgave me. So I really forgive people, that do me wrong, and just say, it is what it is, and because I want somebody to do that for me, because you never know in the time when you really need forgiveness and you haven't given that to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? You don't look for the same, empathy or the sympathy. Don't look for that, because you haven't done it to somebody else. So I always keep that in mind, and always keep that in my heart, is that no matter how bad somebody do me, I always forgive them. And I truly do. You know what I'm saying? And if I've done something and I'm conscious enough that I've done someone wrong, I will go to them and humbly and say, what, I'm sorry. And then if they don't forgive me, that's on them. That's their burden, not mine. You know what I'm saying? I release that burden, in forgiving them. And so when it comes down to trust, it's listen, for me, I don't know for everybody else. When you talk about trusting somebody, listen, you have to earn my trust. Because see, with me, trust comes with. I always say this: trust comes with me. For me, is loyalty. I look for loyalty, because I know no matter what I do, you're gonna be loyal to me. I was talking to somebody before, and I asked them. We did a topic on that, loyalty and respect. I don't know. I think you missed that one. But listen, I tell somebody, did you miss it?
No,
Did you miss that? Right?
mm-mm,
Loyalty and respect. You
I
was
was
with me,
part.
right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. So the thing about it is that you can respect the person. You don't have to be loyal to them. But if you are loyal to a person, no matter what, if you're loyal to anybody, I think you're going. This is my opinion. I don't. I think those two go hand in hand. But you don't have to be loyal to a person that you respect. But when you got loyalty, you look. We loyal to each other. I'm going to respect you no matter what. Even when you make me upset, even when you make me mad, I'm still going to give you the respect. I can be, and I think the loyalty part comes with love. So if I love you that much, I'm gonna like, yo, T, you man, I can't stand you right now. Leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? Because I love you that much, and we got a loyal relationship, and we got respect for one another. So all three of those come together hand in hand. But like I said, you can respect the person, and don't have to be loyal to that person. So you know so when you talk about trust, for me, that's how I look at trust. And everybody don't have. I don't trust everybody, because and then you got to think about it. Spirit of discernment will know, teach you. That's something that you have to really pray about if you really want to focus on that. That focal point is about knowing who you can trust and who you can't. You really got to understand that. Some people don't understand that. You can't just give. Hold on. Somebody text me. Somebody texted me.
Right in mid thought.
I know, right?
Okay, let me ask this question because you
Yes, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
um so you say you're able to forgive quickly. Is that what you're saying? So you're able, it doesn't take you long to forgive a person after they've done you wrong. Is that what you said?
It no, it depends on the circumstance.
Okay.
Because and look, I'm always transparent. I'm always, because I want people to grow. I want people to understand the reality of, when you go through something, how you can grow and you can learn how to get past that. Hold on, somebody said. First of all, somebody said, tell her to quit drinking that Ciroc.
Water. It's so
I know,
water.
right? Hey, look, they said, "But betrayal is always around." Think Peter. Think about Peter. Loved Jesus, but denied him. Judas sold him out. So loyalty is definitely not in this world today, or lifetime, or lifetime snakes are always around, just waiting to strike. Yes, just to look. So yes, it takes some time. It depends on the circumstance. T about me forgiving. But now I want to address the comment. Yes, but see, that's the thing. When you think about, when you hit there and say snakes, yes, guess what? But the snakes, they lie certain places. They don't go everywhere. So when you use the snakes as an analogy, right? The snakes are at certain places where they can be the most dangerous, and you can be vulnerable to those snakes. So you don't go like snakes aren't in the city just slithering, in the city. You go in there when you're going in the grass, when you're going in the forest, then you'll see those snakes. So if you're going in that environment, and I'm using that as an analogy, if you go into that environment where the snakes are, yes, you're going to get bit. Yes, you're going to have. He's waiting to bite you because you're going to that place of where the snakes lie. And snakes are all over the place when you're using that in an analogy. Yes, they can be in a church. Yes, they can be at a donut shop. Yes, they can be all over. So we're using that analogy. I don't want people to get lost while we're saying about snakes. But when you think about that, you gotta be you listen. You have to recognize, and some people aren't able to recognize the attack of that snake, because you got different types of snakes that can be very deadly. You got different types of people that you have to understand how to navigate around those people. And look, listen, I think that's why it's important to have a certain type of people around you. You know, that's why you have to keep the company that's around you that's uplifting, inspiring, encouraging, and that you don't have to worry about those. You don't have to turn around and watch your back. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you build up. That's how you get to that point about really trusting a person. And then, like for me, I got certain people in my circle because you know what, I learned to accept them for who they are. We have a mutual understanding about trusting, about loyalty. See, and that's the one key thing that most of the people in my circle, they they big on loyalty. So guess what? We always gonna respect each other. So we ain't gotta worry about respect. That's it goes for us, it goes hand in hand. That's everybody in my circle. And then guess what? We always striving to be a better person. Whether it's a husband, whether it's a wife, whether it's a brother, a husband, father, we always striving to do that. And those are people that's in the circle. And we go back to how you make yourself stronger, you know, and that's key. So the question I asked you though, but how, so it takes you a long. You did say that. You said it takes you longer to to heal, I guess, to get
Yeah.
over it.
Yeah, I think about how my reaction, my natural way of being is more like I'm really bubbly. I consider myself a bubbly person. Like if I see you, I'm like, hey girl, and give the hugs and the smooches and all that. And I'm really that bubbly type. But if I'm, done wrong, I'm standoffish. And that's not my normal way. So I know that it has a lot to do with me, like when I am hurt, I can tell, or something that doesn't feel like it's right. I could tell by my behavior. And that lets me know, like, oh, honey, you're not yourself. Why is that? I'll start questioning myself, and that's when I'll like really dig to see if I'm still holding on to a grudge or past pain. And I can see that that is something that I've done plenty of times, because trust. I consider myself a very, I'll say vulnerable because when I am completely myself, I'm like a child. I'm like, I love to just be as innocent as possible, like, just be pure, like, you really always standing guard to protect yourself is just exhausting. Just to have some playfulness and some innocence, it feels very good to me and I love that. So if I am like being that way with people and then they take part of that away from me and I can't trust them because they hurt me in some way, or it all depends, right? I become a completely different person because I feel that that person is a threat. I have told people that, you are an enemy to me. You are, I will not have anything to do with you. Like, I've done that. So, trust to me is like it's strong. It's something that I definitely know I need, that kumbaya Jesus love and feel type thing because it's not in me. I have a bulldog, way sometimes. It's the rough, the barking, and I got that in me, and it's so like my protector. It's like my big little ego trying to help me out. Like that's how it is, and it's exhausting. Like I said, it's tiresome. Being able to talk about it like this is great. Having you and I have these conversations, I talk about myself and I learn more about myself. You know, there are a lot of situations that come out like we had this conversation. I'm glad I'm mentioning it. So we had a conversation about something. I'll think of the topic. And
Mhm.
you asked me, you said, have you ever been challenged at your job? And I said, actually, no, I haven't. And then weeks later, I had the best challenging conversation with a black female that I work with. Her and I were cool, right? But we did our best to just be as professional as possible when we was giving each other just that back and forth. And she was giving me her critique about my life and all that. And I had a lot of like respect for it because we just had this conversation, me and you, and now I'm sitting up here having this issue with her and her and I that I had to address and to communicate. We're on the phone. The good thing about it, we weren't face to face because I think that if we did it face to face, it might have been different, because us black women, we know how to act, boy. We truly do. Our face says everything, right? So it was great just to have that experience. And it taught me that, what I am talking about all the time with you, somehow it comes full circle right back to me. So that's why I'll be like, oh Lord, here we go with these conversations. I be glad when some person comes on. I ain't gotta say too much. So, but yeah, trust is a big thing for me. But I look at it as it's more of me trusting in other people. I don't. It's not about God. This is not my trust in God. That when we're talking about having food delivered, that when that thought comes to my mind, immediately I will sit up here and be like, I rebuke the devil, and I'll put that prayer onto it, right? Because I have to tell myself, do not be afraid. God gave you something, and go ahead and enjoy it and bless this food and the hands that prepared it. All that whole conversation comes to my mind. But when it comes to other people, nah, it's totally different. Their God and my God might be different, right?
I mean, yeah, that's possible. So
Yeah.
here's the thing too. Uh, I asked you earlier, do you really trust the process that God has for you? If you so you say you do, right?
Yes.
And God wants the best for us. He wants the best version of us, and we strive to be the best we can, right?
Right.
So when things get a little rocky, and you seem like it seems like it's getting a little rocky, how do you distinguish where God is saying, "Listen, I need you to do this," and you're fighting against it? You say,
I
but
would.
if you say, if not you, hold on, let me go back. If people say they really trust God, right? When things that you want to do, you shouldn't do, you do, but you trust God's process. How do you navigate through that?
Oh, when you shouldn't do what you know you shouldn't do.
No. There is something that God has for individuals, and sometimes people they hear God and they say, you know what, I'm not going to do that, and but they really want to, walk in the will of God, what God has for you. So how do you navigate through that process of doing what God has for you? Because sometimes when God has something for us, even me, we don't walk that way. So I'm saying,
Yeah.
how do you navigate through that? Because I know God be like, see, you know, you ain't going to do that today. And you say, you go like this.
Yeah.
I hear you, God. I hear you, God. But I'm gonna try my way. I'm gonna try my way. And
Yeah.
God said, I'm trying to help you. And you said, God, I got you. And then so how you navigate through that?
So what I do know for me, what I have noticed when I am not listening, I get a little tap on my body somehow. It'll be a little, I'll hit myself because I bruise easily. I have very sensitive skin. So, it'll be a little tap and I'll just be like, I'll pay attention to it, but if it then something else will happen. So for me, it's those little things when it comes to my body. Because I know when I'm supposed to listen, if it's something that I'm supposed to listen to, my body will show me by whatever happens to my body or how I don't do something for my body and then it reacts. And then it's like I have to think about me. This is just me. I mean, I have a history of this for me. Um, but I look at it as, I like to just, say, okay, I know I need to do this, but I need help. That's what I do. Like if I don't want to do something, but I know I should be doing it, I'm supposed to be listening to what God tells me to do. I'll be very honest. I don't know how to do this. Please guide me. That's like how I navigate through it because honestly, there are so many things that I've been dealing with lately when it comes to life in the past, let's say 4 or 5 years, that I have absolutely no way of explaining how I got through it, but it was all because of spirit, right? And I know it because of the fact that when I look back from where I was 4 years ago and where I'm at right now, it ain't me, right? So if I'm grateful for that, I will always continue in that path. That's what I look at it as. So navigating through the difficulties of the things I don't want to do, I really look at it as I just ask for guidance. Like help me get through this. I don't know what I'm doing. Um, but I have done plenty of times where I just ignore it, and that's when it affects me, my body. I'll get a toothache, or something like something's in my eye. Um, Most of the time, I'll get like I'm allergic to certain metals. Like if you have like metals on me, I'll have a metal that will give me a rash. And if it stays on my skin, and I'll be like, I knew I shouldn't have put that on, but I'm not thinking. And that lets me know, oh, you're not thinking because you're not thinking about what you should be doing, right? So it's always a reflection back to myself that lets me know, yeah, something needs to be different with how I react. So it's everybody has something though. Everybody is different. But honestly, it's so amazing to me that people are not really paying attention. People are kind of walking daydreaming in la la land, not paying attention to themselves, not paying attention to their ways, not paying attention to how they affect other people. We're talking about trust. when you lose trust in somebody because they made a mistake or didn't know what they were doing, it's a waste of energy. It's a waste of time too. So I just feel like, people should be waking up, like pay attention to yourself, to pay attention to what you're doing and not doing. Because I mean, you're wasting time.
I look, I'm not good. And I'm being so real. I'm just transparent. I love transparency. Look, I'm not good on quotes, so I'm working on that. So when I'm able to quote something, I want to quote it word for word.
Yeah.
But uh DMX says something that is stuck with me. I'm gonna say it. I gotta get myself together. I gotta say it. All right. And you said expect. When you talk about trust, right? Expect a snake to be a snake. And what does snake expecting a snake do? A snake is going to bite you. So only expect what a snake is supposed to do to you. A thief, expect a thief to steal from you. So just that's only you. So a person that that you should know a person that you cannot trust, no matter what, by their character, by the way they act. You know what I'm saying? We not. It doesn't have to be stealing something physical. It could be stealing your time, occupying your time when you could be focused on something that's going to make you a better person, or stop you from focusing on the prize, whatever that is for that individual. You really have to think about it. And that's just, and you got to expect the person to do that. When you people that are misery, that are miserable, you expect them to just be miserable. They're not going to be happy. So guess what? Only thing they want to do is make you miserable too. You know what I'm saying? It's all some people might say this is not the same thing. It is, because guess what? When you trust somebody, guess what? You got to give them a certain type of energy, because you can speak to them. You can trust them with when you're sad. You can trust them to break down and talk about it and open up to that person. You know what I'm saying? That's sacred. That's private. So that's personal. You can't just give that to anybody. And that's why trust is big. It's a characteristic that a person should want, because I don't tell everybody certain things. I just don't. Even though I'm transparent, I just certain things I don't share with people, because guess what? They're going to misuse it. They're not going to use it for the greater good. They're going to use it for something negative. They're not doing nothing positive with it. So why should I give it to them? No, I'm not giving them that. You know what I'm saying? And my friendship, I'm not just giving it to anybody. Guess what? You got to be a certain special person. You know what I'm saying? Because I got to accept you for you. You got to accept me for me. So I look, I don't care what nobody say. I'm unique. Ain't nobody like me. And I'm a junior too. My dad ain't like me. He his own person. You know what I'm saying? And when I love on somebody, guess what? I love on them. Even in the midst of, because guess what? And I want you to be upset with me. I want you to get mad with me sometimes. Because guess what? That's gonna make our love for one another stronger. I'm not gonna look. I love you. I'm not gonna let you push me away. Yeah, some people are like, oh no, I don't want to be. No, guess what? Because guess what? I truly, genuinely love you, and that's sometimes people don't really have that true unconditional love. Because I love hard. I ain't talking about I can't. Why can't I love another man? Guess what? He my brother. I'm gonna love him too, unconditionally, not fake. I'm not a fake person. You know what I'm saying?
Wait,
And we
okay.
yeah
So,
talk.
okay, so you're basically saying there's levels of trust, right?
Of course, there is. Hold on. When you say there's levels of trust, but guess what? Yes, there's levels of trust, but guess what? Everybody can't have that trust.
Right.
There's certain people you can't. I don't care how deceitful they may be, you can't trust them. So
Okay.
you expect them to be a manipulator, a person that you cannot trust. Because
Okay.
look,
Now,
I don't trust you. Look, I gotta trust you with my heart.
but look, when you have somebody who is wearing a sheep skin, but he's a wolf or she's a wolf underneath there, right? Those type of people that put on the mask, that portray themselves as trustworthy,
Mhm.
and come to find out they are not trustworthy. They do you wrong. What do you do with those type of people?
Ooh, that's
Because
good. That's
those
good.
are who
I
I'm
got you.
really referring to.
I got you. I got you. What, because you use that analogy, watch this. What do a wolf do? How do he attack the sheep? How do he attack the herd? He don't touch. He just does not just attack the group. He attacks the one that's by himself. So you have to surround. So how do I do that? I surround myself with people that's always going to be positive, uplifting. So I don't have to worry about the being manipulated. I don't have to worry about being tricked. And of a person coming in and say, "Oh yeah, you know what? Come and tell me a lie." No, you can't do that. Not with me. Maybe somebody else can do that, but that's how the wolf, how he, not how they get the sheep. It's always one sheep by itself. That's how he get that sheep. He don't go in and attack the whole herd, because guess what? You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna all scatter. He only can get one, and they always get the one that's always lingering. And you talk about sheep. The sheep is by a shepherd. So when a wolf comes, trust me, wolf is cunning, right? Mostly the sheep are in herds, right?
Mhm.
So guess what? I I've been, so, and it's not that I haven't been in that position before. Yes, I've been tricked before. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm covered I'm in a different environment. I'm in a different surrounding. The how I got tricked is because I was in the wrong surrounding. How I was they bamboozled me. I was in the wrong surroundings. So I was
Okay,
tricked. I was,
I'm going to give you a different scenario because I want you
okay.
to put yourself in the situation as if you have to tell me what the feeling would be for you. Okay. Let's say you're a millionaire, wealthy, you're very wealthy. You have people running your books for you, your finances, and they are they've been doing it for a long time. They've been you trust them completely. You stop even paying attention to a lot of stuff, right? Because you trust that they will do it. Come find out your taxes weren't paid. They've been paying for their own personal stuff with your money. You didn't know about it. And you really trusted them. Okay. And it hurts you financially, probably emotionally too, right?
Yeah.
But the point is that you have somebody in your whole your energy, everything about you that you have to now deal with when you don't trust them. What will you do? How will you behave? Will
I,
you still love them and forgive them and be open arms to them?
no, come on, T. Really?
I hear it.
You hold up, wait. You really hold up.
This is
You
great.
really think I see? I don't know. You obviously you think I'm just going just like, oh yeah, it's okay. No, I'm gonna be honest with you. Transparency is everything, right?
Mhm.
Listen, no, I'm not. I will forgive them, but I will move on. They will not be doing my books anymore. I'm not going to be trusting with nothing of mine that's of value. You know what I'm saying? We might not even be friends anymore. It doesn't mean that I can't forgive them. Doesn't mean I can't move on. Come on. You
But you
don't.
don't trust them ever again, do you?
Oh no, no.
Exactly.
But because guess what? I gave you. Listen. That goes with relationship. That goes with marriages. That goes with family. Listen. Family. You would think that they cherish your heart, but sometimes they don't do that, right? So guess
Right.
what? If they don't do it, you forgive them. You move on. That's the same thing with you. Can not a marriage, but a relationship. When I say relationship, not just man and woman, just brother, sister. That's a relationship. So
Right.
you got to think about it. Listen, I gave you my heart. You stepped on it. I'm not gonna let you step on it again. You got, and if you do value that and you do want it back, you got to work at it. You got to
Okay.
show me. You got to show me that you, and trust me. And it's not going to be just easy. You're not going to just like one, two times, three times. It may take years because remember, it's how deep you cut me. So
Uh-huh.
it depends on how deep you have cut me, and if you cut me deep, guess what? It may take some years before I get completely healed. Like I said, if you get a major surgery, it takes time. It takes a long time. It depends on the individual. It depends on age. So the circumstance depends on how deep, what was cut, how deep you got cut. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Now let me ask more questions. I'm going to keep going with this.
Go ahead.
When I think about forgiveness, and I think about, forgiveness, when I think of forgiveness, I think of turning the other cheek and forgive them how many times? 7 times, 77, whatever there was, right? In the Bible about forgiveness, right? So how are Christians supposed to forgive? Because if your brother did you wrong, I wish we had some, you would probably know. You do.
Trust.
So
somebody said what's the topic?
Trust. God to say, I know, but are you trusting in God to say that you going to forgive this person and God, you going to take care of it, that they won't do this to me again? I mean, I'm trying to understand how, we put the mix of trust, in it. And then trust is all about forgiveness too. But there's something, because people do us wrong. Okay. So that whole, mix of being a Christian and trusting others and not learning, to really forgive, or can you really trust another person? Like, it's a little different.
Okay. So you asking me as a Christian? Are you asking me as a Christian? Yes. Now, okay, listen. If the walk we have together, if it's on the path of that God has for us, I will forgive you. And it depends on the circumstance. And it's true. This is a fact, because I already know that if you've done me wrong, right, I'm supposed to forgive you, right? Do I let you do that to me again? No. See what I'm saying? I forgive you, but I will not allow you to do that to me again. So I know listen, here's the thing. We all say, everybody say that money is the root of all evil, right? So if I lend you $500, right, and you don't give it back to me like you say you do, like you're supposed to, right? I'm not giving you money like that no more.
I agree.
You understand me? I trust you enough to say, look, Rel, I'm gonna give you this $500, and I tell you I'm gonna pay you back Friday, and I don't give it to you Friday, I'm not trusting you no more.
Right.
Now, if you come to me and you say, oh, well, I'm gonna do this. Listen, okay, cool. I'm not gonna say nothing. I know how to handle you when it comes down to that. With money and me, you win. Like I said, I'm gonna forgive you. Watch this. We still gonna be cool, but guess what? When it comes down to that, I'm not trusting you no more. Can I still love you? Yes, I can still love you unconditionally. But guess what? When it comes down to money, you can forget it. See what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, it depends on what it is too. It really does. I mean,
Right.
We're talking about money, but if it comes to, hurting our family members, somebody that hurts our family members, like, let's say, I hate to say the word rape, but if it's the intensity of, a violation of another person's body, that's our family members. How would we really react? You know what I'm saying?
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Because you use that as an analogy, right? And so we still talking about from a Christian perspective?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I just want to make sure I make sure I'm clear on that. Okay, so if you look at it like that, right, yo, we gonna be furious. That's the flesh. That's the emotional part. We gonna be mad. We gonna furious. But guess what? We have to forgive, right? Because let me tell you something. I don't care who you are. If you do not forgive, there is something that's going to stir inside of you that will cause you to do something that you will regret, that you can't take back. So their actions, they have to pay for their actions. Yes, that's easy for me to say, right? But guess what? At the end of the day, when you talk about from Christians' perspective, you got to really look at it and say, look, God, this is in your hands. Yeah, it happened. I can't hold on to that that pain, that hurt, because guess what? I might, as a human being, I might do something that I may regret, that is going to cause me pain and hurt. You understand what I'm saying? So when you look at it from a Christian perspective, truly, some people can't do that. And I'm not saying that you have to be perfect, but we talking about trusting the will of God, right? Because that's what we talk about, trust. Guess what? We have to trust the process and say, God, it's in your hands. It's not about being perfect. It's about, listen, there is something that hurt me that to the core. I can't deal with it by myself. So how do you deal with that? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. And I'm glad you said that. The will of God, right? There are people in the world that don't even trust God because they're like, why, God, did you allow that to happen? Have you ever heard people say stuff like that?
Say it again.
I said that there are times when people don't trust God because they look at it as God allowed that particular, whatever it was. It was, horrible to their life, and it was something devastating. And they say God allowed that to happen. So they lose trust in God because they say, you allowed, God, this to happen to my family member. And they'll have, resentment and hatred. But the point is, they don't even trust God because they think that it was allowed for it to happen in that person's life, to go through something that was horrible, that was tragic. And people like that, how do you talk to people like that? How do you get to somebody that does not trust God? Because of the fact that something happened that was so, think about it. When I was growing up, hearing about kids dying because of people going into the schools and shooting up the schools and killing kids and teachers. You know what I'm saying? Mass school shootings type thing. I see your lips are moving. Are you listening?
I'm listening. Hold on. I'm multitasking. I got the headset. I'm listening to you, and then I'm reading the comments because I want
only do one thing at a time. That's all.
I'm listening to you because I'm getting, and then I'm thinking, and I'm getting ready to say this to you because it's crazy that you say that, right? And you talk about the rape thing. Someone sent me a clip. I won't disclose their name. They sent me a clip about a young lady who was raped, right? And when she was raped, she had a child, her first child. If I'm not mistaken, she was either 11 or 12, right? Got married with the person, which was a pastor. The mother and the father was a deacon and a deaconess of the church. They were so focused on, and this was the story the woman is telling us. They was, and we look at it from a human perspective and say that's messed up. But look, they were so focused on the wrong thing, they was not paying attention to their daughter. And first of all, let me go back. They allowed the pastor to marry their daughter, knowing that their child was raped by the pastor. They allowed them. So guess what? And there are circumstances that it doesn't happen like that. But when we look at that, we have to. And I say this, and I don't say this with a loving heart, and I say this with not to just discredit when someone's raped. I'm not saying that because God knows my heart. Truly, He knows my heart, and I'm not saying that. And what we really have, and it's hard for some people to understand and cope with that. There are things that's outside of our control. There are things that happen in this lifetime that we cannot look at and say, God, allow it. There's a reason for things to happen, whether we want to accept it or not. There are some things that would just happen, and we be looking like, why God, right? We right. I know. I am a person who, and see, I always say this because this is me. This is the true me about transparency. I've been that way before, where I said, God, how you let this happen? Listen, it may seem simple to people, right? But listen, I had bought a car, brand new, right? I'm riding, I'm happy, I'm not, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna show you what I'm saying. Why I say, God, how you gonna let this happen? I wasn't even 2 months, I wasn't even a month in. Yo, somebody run the light, crash, boom, totaled my car. Guess what? I'm able to look. because that's maturity, and I grew into the person I am today, right? Listen, I got a brand new car. Ran me. If I show y'all the how the car looked, you couldn't believe that I walked away from this. Walked away, caught the train back home, went to the hospital. I could have died. But and listen, and I say, hold up, I work hard every day. And the person, listen, and the person that hit me was an officer of the law, right? And they was drunk. And listen, they left the scene of the crime, and guess what? I got a lawyer, my lawyer, and I had a good lawyer. Listen, they dropped my case because they said I had to stay out of work to prove that I was hurt. I really wasn't hurt, but the point that I'm making, now look, come on, I work every day. I grind every day, and some people, that's my life. You understand me? That's my life. And you think about that, and you say, wow, how God no, I didn't see. That's what I'm saying. You can't, some things we don't understand. But
Right.
there's a process in that. And then we have to walk inside and walk in that process and say, you know what? I accept it. Some people can't. And listen, I could have so many things I can say that could have happened, but it didn't. Listen, I could have lost a leg, I could have lost the eye, I could have lost a hand, an arm, I could have been crippled for the rest of my life. And that's something serious, because yes, it's my story, but guess what? Ultimately, guess what? I think about, how I could have been dead, and my life would have been ended that quick. I wasn't even. I'm 47 now. I wasn't even. Listen, that happened. I wasn't even 45. I wasn't even 42. Was I 40? I don't even think I was 40 yet. My life could have ended that quick. And we talk about we talk about rape. Guess what? Some people get raped and they kill themselves because they can't accept it. They can't get over it. But it's bigger than just that. You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than, if you look down that person's life, you know what I'm saying? Did someone, oh man, I don't even want to say that because I don't want people to get discouraged. I don't want people to get misunderstand me when I say that, you know what I'm saying? And you just gotta, it's so deeper, and that's why we're talking about encouraging. We're not talking about discouraging. We're talking about encouraging people. So if you've been through something like that, then you can't trust a human being. You got to hold trust in God.
But some people do not know what that means to
Trust in God. I know, and look, that's why and that's why we hear, because you never know. There is a person that's probably going through that, and now they hear this and they say, wow, give it a try. If you never tried it before, give it a try. But some people don't want to try. Some people don't want to,
just saying trust in God. So when I look at it, when I say it now, when I'm wanting to say trust in God, is you like you are here as like God, kind of get to a person to let them know God is within them. God is not outside of them, but within every single person. So yes. But that's the thing. But when people are hearing all the time, trusting God, we're talking about something that is so broad. But we're talking about what an individual needs. And an individual that does not know how to trust or at all and don't even know nothing about God, it's kind of like you have to get to know that person individually in order to make that person see the goodness in them, even when they don't even see it in themselves. Or they've been abused and hurt so bad they don't even see it so badly. It's so many things that people go through. Tragedy is like real, and I am so sad by the way the world is, because we are horrible people to each other, and we don't even have real good relationships because of that. So we don't even trust one another.
So someone said it's easy to say to trust in God if God is not in the household. See, that's another thing. See, and look, and that's what you said. And if no one really in the household talks about God and how you and just to just piggyback on what you said, listen, prayer is the key to that. So if they don't have prayer, they don't know how to touch God. They don't know how to talk to God. They don't have to talk to God. Why is this happening? Touch my heart. You know, I want to hear your voice. They don't know that. You know, if they don't know that, they don't know how to do that. But I'm listen. I could be wrong. Someone said, "How do you grow to trust if no one laid down the foundation to you?"
Hey, if you want it, if you look, ask and it shall be given. We know that, right? But that's the same thing for everybody. Everybody knows if they desire something within them to learn or know or want to grow in, they have to ask for it or seek it. And so everybody knows that if you really want something, you got to ask for it within yourself. You ain't got to ask for it from somebody else. Within yourself, just start asking within yourself. Say, I want whatever it is, because whatever it is, it's going to be given to you. So be careful what you ask for.
Oh,
That's
it depends on what you ask for too.
but it can be. It does not matter. I believe this with all my heart. If you ask for something, it shall be given to you. I do.
You want to be rich? You want to be rich?
Look.
No. That's the question. Do you want to be rich?
Nah, I don't want to be rich.
Okay.
There's
There you go.
word I would use,
You want to be wealthy? You want to be wealthy?
I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say it out loud. It's not my time. It's not my time.
Oh, okay. Because I want you to ask for something, and God gonna say,
I know when to ask for the right things at the right time.
All right. Okay. I just want you to clear that up, because you asked, and
I'm asking for other things right now. Yeah, okay. But see, you made me lose my train of thought. It's gone. Like, what was I going to say? But yeah,
no.
But I get what they're saying, because there's a lot of people in the world that just are not religious, you know, and I am really trying to, when I talk like this, I am trying to make my voice as understandable to all people, because I don't want to just put it on one part of, you know, Christianity is beautiful. There's other religions that are beautiful as well. But I am trying to communicate to people, because people are hurting. Like, people are really lost in this world, and we need to really connect back to who we really are. And honestly, I mean, I don't know. I kind of, you know, see it as, I don't know what it's going to be like, but I'm trying my best to do my part. That's all I'm saying. And the way I speak is just basically saying that as individual people, we need to learn how to love one another, for one. And how do you love? You got to know yourself first. I believe that if you know yourself and you can love yourself, then you'll be able to love others. And then trust can come. It can come. Like, that's like, trust is part of the beginning. But it's not the beginning, you know, because I say love is the beginning. You know, I hate using the word love lately, but it is something. It's real.
Someone said sometimes people have to go through things in order for them to put their trust in God. No, that depends on the circumstance.
But that's true, though, because it's experience. Think about when we grow up, we are children, we are lost, we don't know what we're doing. We trust our parents to take care of us and guide us, right?
Why not? Okay.
That's just how life is as human beings.
All right, but there were, watch this. So the person says sometimes people have to go through things in order for them to put their trust in God. Let me share something with you. I will not say their names. I will not disclose that, but I can tell you this. They are men and women that raise their children in the way they're supposed to. And guess what? They walk in that way right now. And they're not adults, they're children. And you look at the parents, when you look at that and say, sometimes we got to go through things. No, that when you're becoming an adult, depending on how your parents raised you, right? And the connection of the two parents, that has a lot to play in it too. Because guess what? I know children and their parents, their children. And listen, I'm working on my speech. Okay, their children speak the word of God great because of what they teach them, how they they incorporate in their life, their walk, you know what I'm saying, as parents and as teachers to their children. And yes, and listen, their children are just, they're living examples of how we should be or we supposed to be. I'm talking about these are children and they're special. They're and because they are teachers in their home. They don't go to school. You know, they teach at home. And they look, if you see how these children speak, you'll be astounded. You'll be like, wow, oh my goodness. Did they just do a sermon? Did they? It's impossible. But that's what it goes. And sometimes we don't have to go through those things. You got to look at it. And we can't just blame our parents, but sometimes it comes from that. And that's why we got other topics that we're going to talk about. And we talk about soul tithing. We talk about marriages that are meant to be together that aren't. That's not God's putting you together. You know what I'm saying? The search of a wife. Oh man, listen, I got some good stuff. I'm telling you right now, T. You're gonna be like, okay, and I got something just for you. I'm not gonna say it. I got something just for you.
Let me say something real quick to what you were saying about the children.
Yes.
I know you're talking about the children that are so, articulate and how they speak in well and they can do a sermon and how their ages are.
That's from their parents. That's from the parents.
That's from the parents. That's beautiful.
Yes.
But you also have to put into the mix the children that don't have parents to guide them. Because there are many children out there that do not speak the way that you're referring to about these children that speak. They do not have two parents in the household. They are possibly in poverty. There are children out there that are being born that had no choice but to be in the situation with the parents that they have. And it's not, I don't want us to disregard that part of life. You know what I mean? I wanted that part of us to just always, say that there are those that do not have, but those that do not have, they want to be told and be, directed into the right path. But that's the thing. The person that had that comment about, you have to experience things, sometimes. Yes, we all have to experience, just like I was saying about children. We are still like children because we do not know exactly the place or the time or how to be in life. We don't know all the time how to be. We don't always know the best choices to make. So it's like you have to go through it and learn. Just because after you learn your lesson, you'll know how that process went. Then you'll be like, okay, I won't do that next time because I went through it the first time and went through it a such and such way, but I'm gonna do it this way differently. And that's learning. That's like we're all children, and that's how children are. They're learning their parents' ways. They learn if their parents are right. They look at other children to see and compare how their parents are to their parents. Like everybody is learning something. We're all like children.
I that's right. That's that. You're absolutely right. There's no denying that. Sometimes we got to go through things.
Yeah.
And so we can trust God. Yes, because I'm. Listen, I told you like I was out over that weekend. I was out with my father. He said, you wasn't bad. You just was hyper, right? I said, you know what? Well, what I used to say I was bad. But you know what? How he put it, I respect it. He was like, no, you just was hyper. Because I had a lot of energy. I'm talking about I had extreme. I still do have a lot of energy. And, when I be loving on people, they be like, what the hell? What's wrong with this dude? What's wrong with him? Hugging and acting all silly, especially when I have a couple of energy drinks in me. Oh, my goodness, it's over.
Lord.
It is over. They be like, yo, is he gonna bite me? What he gonna do? But yeah, and that's how it is, I really listen to him. He's like, yeah, you was that. And then I thought about it. I really wasn't. I was just hyper, just had a lot of energy, and I got into a lot of things. And in that, I think mostly I thankful for him and my grandmother. I always shout them out because I was living with my mother for a little bit, then I lived with my dad. Whatever. Listen, if it wasn't for my dad and my grandmother, which is our family, and man, listen, I don't know where I'd be. So yes, I went through a lot. Even through all of that, I went through a lot. but I realized that, I definitely had a calling on my life. I want to touch people. And this platform is the place where I can start working on conversating, just because we have different guests on here, and it's working. And like I said, we got me and Tanika, guys. I'm telling you, listen, listen. This is personal, guys. So listen, this is something new for her, and she agreed to it. Listen, we will soon. I just want to share with you guys, and this is definitely not for fame. This is really trying to encourage people. We will be traveling soon to other podcasts, and other podcasters will be on here that have a bigger platform, but it's not to like I said, it's not. I don't this because I'm a chef and I love to cook. So this is something to add. This is an addition. This is not for me and my fame. I'd rather be a chef on a bigger platform, and you see me working and you tasting my food. So, but it's something that that's in me, to talk to people all over the world. Right now we on the East Coast. We trying to touch the West Coast, Midwest, whatever God leads us. I definitely want people to know and understand that sometimes I can be difficult because I really want to share the love that I have inside. It says I don't catch. I enjoy it. Yes, they say they enjoy it. That's a part of me. I talk to people all the time, and this is one thing I want to share with people. T, and I even with you, T, I tell them, listen, how can you? This my thing. If you're a Christian, I don't listen. Some people say no, you can't. I said, listen, I don't know anybody that really truly love the Lord and don't have this bubble inside that you just want to be like, oh, I love you, Jesus. Oh, come on, come on. Some people say I love the Lord, but
you're
no,
hyper.
Listen, watch this. Hold on, you're right. I'm hyper, but watch this. T. Seriously, that's why. Listen, that's why I said when God told me to tell you, would you like to? He told me to ask you, and you said yes. I was like, perfect. I just was obedient to what he said, right? But guess what? There's something great that's going. I told you this already. You already said one thing. There is going to be something great that comes out of this for you and myself. Because guess what? I'm telling you, we're going to help a lot of people not only come to God, but understand they're in a hurt season that we're not going to do it. God is going to do it, but we're going to show them that, listen, yes, come out of that hurt, come out of the darkness and come into the light. You know what I'm saying? And when you're in the light, listen, it's nothing but happiness. We're going to have bad times. Because there is different seasons in our life. There's time for rain. There's time for snow. It's different seasons. And when you in the right season, guess what? There's going to be sad times. There's going to be good times. But you have to make it always about just being happy, even in the midst of your sadness. Some people can't do that. No. Listen, it could be worse. How did I get to this point? Because I'd have had five major car accidents that was not my fault. I fell asleep behind the wheel. That's my testimony. I'm gonna share that on another episode. It's about that. It's about our time. This time is coming up to end this season. I mean, I said season, this session. But yeah, and look, I don't have no. Listen, I'm able to use all my limbs. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what. And I know I gotta be, and I say this with love. I gotta say that. I say it with love. I don't understand how some Christians can say they love God and they just be like this. How you doing? How you doing?
That's a stoic way.
God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. No, and then
some people don't have the personality you have.
T, I just said, hold up. But watch this. Watch this. Hold up, T. I kid you not. Like I said, over the weekend, I'm going to show you so you could see. Look, there are other Christians that have the same type of energy that I have. And I ain't talking about a little bit. They have a lot because their genuine love for people to understand what God really wants us to have, you listen, you just want to show everybody. I remember when I first start like really going to church and really, I used to go to my grandmother's church, right? And they say, "Oh, we gonna go see Terrell shouting." I said, I used to be shouting, right? But that wasn't really my encounter with God. It was the moments when I was by myself, listening to music, and the Holy Spirit was speaking to my heart. And that's where I used to break down and cry, man. My face all ugly and everything. And that's where he started to pour into my heart. He started to just come down on me. And now listen, it changed me. A shift changed in my life. How I see things, how I treat people, talk to people, even my family members. Listen, I'm cool with some, and some I'm not. It's okay, because guess what? They can't accept me for who I am. I gotta accept them, but it's okay, and I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a strong person. I'm not weak-minded. You know what I'm saying? I'm not easily shifted. You can't No, I can't move. You ain't gonna move because you tell me to move. No, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, T, all I want to do is love on you. That's it. It's anybody. It's like that's what I want to do. And guess what? Some people want it, some people don't. And that's cool. I got it. That's all right. And same thing. I know that go for you too. People got to learn to love you for you, right? Navigate around the toughness.
I'm a stoic. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah. Look, I know you are, but guess what? Listen, God gonna shake them feathers. He gonna shake them feathers. He gonna shake them, and you gonna be like this. Look, I'm telling you, they're gonna be like,
what's wrong with her?
Look, that's what they're gonna say, T. They're gonna be like, so there's something different about you. You all right? You took the medicine today?
Right.
You be like, no. Look, no, I'm just, I just got this inside of me. It's just I want to let everybody know, and like I said, I watch. I want to just say that they are very encouraging. So I was learning something today, is that Tim Ross is one of the guys I listen to on the podcast. He's very encouraging. You guys need to check him out sometime. Also, for the women, very encouraging. Girls Going Bible. Yo, it's very. These are the first two podcasters I listen to, and then this other one. Yeah, they are very encouraging. I listen to them in the morning time, and some other people I do listen to. And you know what? At the end of the day, that's important. I'd say the spiritual aspect is what you put in your ears is important. How you begin to be encouraged. That's key. My wife used to always say that. Oh, you gotta watch what you put in your spirit, and then it start to resonate with me. Oh, you gotta watch what you put in your spirit, and because at the end of the day, you really truly do. It is a lot of things that's going to make your spirit life grow. This podcast has reached a lot of more than I believe you, brother. I believe you. Somebody said this podcast has reached a lot more than fam. I believe you. And that's what I want to do, on a level of just being encouraged. And then I know some people, and sometimes I wear these type of shirts, for people to be encouraged. You know what I'm saying? Salvation. This is what, like I said, this is for me. I got a shirt made. I'm gonna show you guys, but at the end of the day, I just want y'all to be encouraged. And T, definitely you too.
Always.
We gonna get that we gonna get that bubbling. When you look, when you shake up the champagne, you like hit that top. God gonna be all over. Jesus gonna be like, oh my goodness, what is this? They be like, listen, this is the new Tika. But listen, it was a pleasure, T.
It was great.
Listen, I will see you this weekend. And yes, guys, we are chilling this weekend. That's how we do, man.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Word, I am too. Listen, we gonna have a good time. I definitely will hit y'all with a little video, here and there, but no, we gonna have a good time. But listen, guys, I want you all that are watching, all that are listening, be encouraged. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have a relationship with God, try to get one, try to be encouraged to get one. And if you don't have a church home, find one. The right, that's another thing, the right church home. Don't look at church and say it's all negative. It's the people. And then I'm gonna get out of here. Listen, I told somebody today at work, right? It's not about the church. You know what it's about? It's about finding the right church. You know what I'm saying? Because there are a lot of people that's broken that need the right encouragement, the right people around you. And let me show, and then I'm gonna enlighten you what I mean by that is, if you decide to be a nurse, right? Right, T? I'm just saying, you decide to be a nurse. You want to find the right school that's going to prep you up to be the nurse. You don't go to a school that's going to teach you business.
Right.
Then that's not the right school. So that's the same thing with church. You got to find the right church. And then you also listen, not only the right church, you got to ask God to lead you to the right church. You'll know. That's just the same thing. You got to do your homework. You have to find out what is right for you, because you are in a different season than everybody else. There are a lot of hypocrites. There are a lot of people that don't do the things that they're supposed to. So guess what? If that's not for you, don't go. Don't go to that one. Go to another. Find another one. God will take you there. He will lead you there. You know what I'm saying? You have to find that place, the place of peace, the place of love, the place of happiness, because it's going to change for you. It's going to make you better. Some people don't believe that, but it will. But you got to find the right place. You know what I'm saying? Listen, if I was already in dealing with a chef. I've been a chef before I went to culinary school, but you know what I did? When I graduated from culinary school, it heightens my horizon. It made me a better chef, because then I learned the basics, which I already knew hands-on. But guess what? Now it made my knowledge more knowledgeable of the things that I need to do to grow to be a better chef. You know what I'm saying? So I knew the foundation. That was the foundation, and I went to the right school. You know what I'm saying? I looked for the right school. I found the right school that was just made for me and my culinary industry. Monday and Wednesday now. Monday and Wednesday. No more Fridays, just Monday and Wednesday. Listen, it was great. Listen, guys, please. Trust is dealing with the heart, and your heart is sacred. Y'all have a good one and be blessed. All right, team.
Bye
See you this
bye.
weekend.
Okay.